Strong Toyota, leading the way every day. And strong Toyota, symbols of trust.
The cause of the second island-wide power outage in as many months has been traced back to the Marianas Energy Company's baseload unit number 9. A fuel pump failed, and MEC's protection scheme automatically took it offline when the fuel leak was detected. MEC General Manager Reno Manzano explained that the defective pump has now been replaced.
Unfortunate incidents were in the governor control system that regulates fuel coming in. We believe there was defect on the servo motor. So what we did is actually verify, and we did replace the defective system in there. Unfortunately, with one of our units going down, it created a cascading effect on the whole grid, the power grid system.
As a result of that, instability began in the system, and what we tried to do with the system is have protections that will allow for the dumping of load. Because when you lose a generator that's carrying a certain amount of load, you have to dump the same amount of load to keep the system balanced. And a whole series of outages occurred to try to balance the system. Unfortunately, another generator tripped at the, moments later, again compounding the issue.
Consolidated Utility Services General Manager John Benavente explaining that when that MEC unit tripped offline to protect itself, that caused one of GPA's Cabris baseload units to trip offline too, again for its own protection. And then the whole load fell onto Tangisan, which couldn't handle it all, and so it shut down as well, leaving all of Guam without power at 3:07 p.m. yesterday afternoon.
If the system load capacity on the line at that time doesn't match the load, the whole system starts to dump, and the machines start to back off and get to a point where each of these machines have different trips for different reasons to protect the generator from major damages. As a result of all of that, blackout occurs.
The blackout got some help by the fact that GPA did not have all of its baseload units available as backup yesterday. Benavente says Cabris number 1 was offline when the MEC unit's fuel pump failed. Its boiler tubes were being repaired. Those boiler tubes broke last month during the last island-wide blackout.
Cabris number 1 is down and being repaired for boiler tube leaks that occurred actually since the blackout in June. This really was scheduled for overhaul but had to delay because of the Cabris 3 problem that occurred last year in September. So this kind of started compounding itself, so therefore we had more machines and more different machines on the line to be able to meet the load as a result of not having all our base loads available.
And Benavente also told us that there had been a prior problem with the MEC unit number 9 yesterday morning at 7 a.m. The MEC 9 tripped offline, but it didn't cause an island-wide blackout at that time. It was repaired and no blackout occurred. But 8 hours later, when the fuel pump went down, it crashed the entire system.
Yesterday morning, that unit tripped again. And
MEC 9?
Yeah, in the yesterday morning, it tripped at 7 a.m. and the system did not go down. Okay, and that's because the load in the early morning is low, but in the afternoon when all the air currents are running and all of that, the loads are high. We had to put other generators on the line, and so therefore when this unit tripped, there wasn't
wasn't enough to pick
up the load.
Power restoration began at 4:30 yesterday afternoon. By 6 o'clock, GPA said that power had been restored to 50% of the island. 85% of GPA's customers had power by 9 o'clock, and full restoration was reported by midnight. Kevin Kerrigan, PNC News.